Hi, Chamber friends and future leaders. Tara Doyle-Enneking here with the Puyallup Sumner Chamber.
Hi, I'm Luke Korum with Bill Korum's Puyallup Nissan, and also help out down here at the Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce.
A fantastic partner of the Chamber. Yeah. We love it. Well, happy holidays, everyone. We're here to you today because it's that time of year. It's time to register for one of the most premier leadership development programs in our region. It is the Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce Leadership Institute. Luke and I are both alumni from last year, so we're here today to just talk to you about some of the 2020 curriculum, some of the insight of what we learned from going through the program, and if there's any questions any of you might have about the classes that are about to start, we hope that you'll log in and ask some questions. So, hi Kyle, there's one of our board members, Kyle, who will be sending one of his employees to our leadership. So we'll just dive right in and start to tell you about the exciting curriculum for 2020. First of all, orientation will begin January 13th. It will be conducted here at the Chamber that day from 3 to 5. We will be limiting the class to 20 people. There's a lot of self-discovery and activities that you do, and that's about the number and size you want to work with to really engage in the way we do. Would you agree?
Exactly, yes. To have that group and just fellowship mentality, just to be able to work on projects and learn together.
Yeah, so January 13th is the orientation. We're really excited to announce that Kent Hojum, the CEO of the Washington State Fair, will once again be our facilitator, but we've added to that lineup. We have Chancellor Michelle Johnson from Pierce College coming as well, and Pierce College, as many of you know, was just accoladed with a top 5 in the country. I think it might even be top 3. But for community colleges. So they're doing great work in the community. Chancellor Johnson is a real pillar of our community, and for her to impart her wisdom to this group, we're very fortunate to have her. So what did you think about Kent as a facilitator last year?
Kent is a great facilitator, instructor, mentor, just good to have there. He sets a good tone from the first class. And we're really lucky to have a guy like that, a Stanford-educated guy that's obviously a CEO here in Puyallup, and he takes the time in his schedule to teach us and in the future classes about leadership, and he does a wonderful job doing it.
He was also, kudos to Kent, he was also just inducted into the Hall of Fame. So one person every year is chosen from the fairs across the country. And so our local boy, yeehaw, let's give him a yeehaw, he'd appreciate that.
Very prestigious honor.
Is a very prestigious honor. So again, to have such accoladed leaders helping us discover our leadership abilities is just, we're very fortunate. So there's a guiding sort of principle and book that this Leadership Institute follows, and Luke,
I have a copy of it right here. So Kent goes over this from day one, and it's a real easy read. It's only about 200 pages. It's called The Truth About Leadership. No Fads, Heart of the Matter, Facts You Need to Know. And it's by James Kouzos and Barry Posner. And if you've been to any Kent's Lunch and Learns or anything to do with his with the Chamber, he references this book, and we go through this very thoroughly. And what I learned from this book is it takes leadership, it makes it easy to understand. It talks about what people are looking for in leaders. I remember the top 4 things that people are looking for was honesty, forward thinking, inspirational, and competency. Was something that this book stresses, and it talks about just culture and credibility was a big part, especially in the beginning, talking about that. And Ken does a great job with this book and as a guide through the class, as well as all the other fun stuff we get to do.
Yeah, and so each of the weeks, so just to kind of talk a little bit about structure, your commitment is a big one. If you're deciding to do it, it should be an important decision, and you should definitely acknowledge the level of commitment you will need. It is just one Friday every month, but for 6 months. And those dates have been defined. I believe for the most part, they're the second or third Friday of the month. And then we culminate at the end with a fun graduation, which is really nice to celebrate all that we've learned. But this book then takes those chapters each of those months, and we weave it into kind of other themes throughout the community. So it's a very interactive program. You will be traveling to different places. We'll have a tour bus on some of the days. But again, that lesson throughout is definitely from the foundation of this book, which is excellent. And then Kent does a great job interjecting his own humor, and he loves to give movie clips that would, I guess, better amplify some of the messages that are coming from the book. So those are all kind of the fun parts of it. If I was just to talk a little bit about the curriculum and things you can expect, we will open up in January with our Economic Development Day out in Sumner, where we'll start at their city hall, and hopefully we'll have Mayor Pugh, their city manager, their city planner, their community director there, just to tell us a little bit about community collaboration. Sumner does such a fantastic job of that. And so they will be there to give you an inside tour of the council chambers, and just to talk a little bit more about how they run as an organization, because they do it so well. We will then go to our favorite David Radcliffe at the old cannery for lunch and learn about his furniture empire and his company culture, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
We'll have lunch served to you there. And
that's important to know. So breakfast and lunch is included in those 6 weeks. So
yes.
And it's good food.
And it's always good food. Then we'll hop on our bus to continue our tour through Sumner to see some of the other developments that are taking place. Also to then end our day at Delano's Coffee. So again, another company that demonstrates great company culture, and recently has an nationally award-winning barista there. And so maybe we'll be lucky enough to have her speak to us as well, and you'll get a tour of their facility. So that's essentially Economic Development Day in Sumner. And so the following month, in February, we'll kind of bounce back to Puyallup and do a similar kind of lineup. We will then start at, I'm trying to remember exactly where we decided. I think we are...
What's great about the tour is you get the community leaders, the city leaders, to give you that tour. Now we got to see like the warehouse district, somewhere you ordinarily would never be, and just get to see how that plays into the economic of the city and the community. And we got to end up there in Delano's and all that. But then we go to Puyallup. I remember last time we started at the City Hall.
I think we are. We're going to confirm that we are starting at City Hall there. Exciting stuff coming to the city of Puyallup as far as economic development goes. They've recently hired a new economic development manager, which is Meredith Neal, which we're so excited to partner with. So she will be speaking about some of the plans the city has here in the near future. We'll have their interim city manager, Steve Kirkley, to speak to us as well. Hopefully we can get Mayor Palmer and some of the electeds to join us too, to just talk about, again, how their city hall functions, what they're keenly focused on in 2020. They have such a beautiful facility, so we'll get to tour that as well. Then we will head over to our partners over at the South Hill Mall and have some of their leadership talk a lot about just evolving to stay relevant. So just with so many people shopping in Amazon and just the way we sort of capture that shopper these days, the South Hill Mall has certainly had to evolve and kind of stay relevant to the times to be relevant in this community. And they are doing such a great job and have lots of exciting things to talk to us about. So we'll be with a catered lunch over at the South Hill Mall and learn a little bit more from their leadership. So that'll be a newer, I guess, part of the program.
Yeah, we didn't get to do that last year, so that'll be fun.
And then in March, we will have Chancellor Michelle Johnson facilitating that day, and we will, I believe, be starting out at Pierce College. Let me back that up, because it's not the college day. It's servant leadership and community service. So we will start out at St. Francis House. We'll have the owner of Elements, Robert Kalin, coming in, bringing us some of his juices from Elements, and he has a servant leadership background, so he'll talk some about that. We'll have Sister Pat give us a tour of the phenomenal service that the St. Francis House is offering, and I guess you could probably share some insight about that great tour.
Yeah, I think this is a great week, because it kind of sets the tone for the rest. Learning about servant leadership, we do a project at the very end, I'm sure we'll get to, but it kind of gears us in that direction to do something special for the community. We do a competition, we raise a lot of money, funds, things like that, and it's all up to the class what they want to do. But this week in particular kind of gave us the roadmap on what we want to do. But you get to see the St. Francis House with all the great work that Sister Pat and her team out there does.
Yeah.
You get to see the inner workings of their all the donations that come in and the help and things they need, and it's a great way to
It's
be
a
part of.
well-oiled machine there. I really love their philosophy, and it's not like when the families come to shop for the clothing there. I mean, it's a department store. It's beautiful. They really are picky about what they put out there, so that there's a lot of pride in folks that may just need a little bit lift in the community. St. Francis House is there to give it to them, and give it to them in a very integrity-driven way. And so many great community partners help this organization. So we love that our class spends half a day there. Hopefully we'll have Chick-fil-A for lunch again. Mike Lehman is the owner of the local Puyallup Chick-fil-A, and was such, he was an alumni last year with us, and is a generous partner out here. So hopefully we'll get to
We have a couple other alumni that checked in.
I see, yes. Who was that?
Dennis and Alicia.
Yay! Leisha Myers over at Good Samaritan was also an alumni. She's tuned in. Dennis Folk here at Terrafin Real Estate was saying the class was well worth it, a great experience. So thank you for chiming in. We appreciate it. We're just really growing some great leaders in this area, having gone through this program.
And that kind of gives you a glimpse of who's in these classes. You've got someone from real estate, someone from the hospital, someone from automotive, someone from the chamber. So you get all different backgrounds coming in and learning about leadership from Kent and now Michelle.
Yeah, and we had the Chick-fil-A owner, we had the Pierce College new president, Daryl Kane was one of the students as well, Holly Ball from the fair. We had 3 great representatives from the city of Sumner as well. So just, some great people in the community. Kathy Horton was at Habitat Humanity, probably forgetting someone, but it just, again, it's a diverse group. And as much as you'll be learning from the book, as much as you'll be learning from Kent and Michelle Johnson, you will learn so much from your classmates as well. There's an awful lot of self-discovery and an awful lot of sharing that goes into just sort of this experience that is kind of that unspoken part, unpublished part that is so rewarding. So that was a very beneficial part for me. So the Servant Leadership Day will start at Sister Pat's over at St. Francis House, but then we're going to end up into a new gem and asset in our community with the Step by Step organization. Krista Linden, the owner there, has recently opened Farm 12, or the Luke Korum Event Center, and her vision is remarkable. The empire that she's creating to help serve a lot of these women and the community is just, she's beyond a servant leader with what she's done, and it's just a beautiful facility. So we'll be very fortunate to have lunch or to be there later, and then to also have our classwork there, discuss our class projects, and hear from Krista Linden. So that'll be another great day. Then we'll move into April. Ooh, this is a fun one.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead. What's
Spring
April?
Fair. So we get to go where Kent is at. So we get to start out there and learn the inner workings of the Puyallup Fair. What I liked is they took us just back, and you saw parts of the fair that even if someone like me that's grown up in Puyallup their whole life have never seen, where they make the signs, where they just all the full-time staff that works year-round that you don't think about. And their main offices, the concert hall, and all the good things that go on at the fair.
They really rolled out the red carpet. It's a fun day, so we're going to really make this this particular day more about being whimsical, getting in touch with your creative side. We'll be doing personality assessments with you, a colors test. We may do some improv that day. There's just a lot of leadership that we can do around this fun setting of the fair. So we've kind of loaded the day up with that type of stuff.
And to get you out of your shell, just to kind of not just get to know everybody else, but understand what type of leader you are, with all these people here. So. Yep.
So that is a great day. We then, in May, will be heading to our Education Day, where we'll be at Pierce College, and again with Chancellor Michelle Johnson. We'll probably get to hear from alumni Daryl Kane as well, the current president out at Pierce College, Puyallup. She'll be emphasizing on just how to be a great supervisor. So supervision is something that at some point in all of our careers, and no matter what level you're at, there's probably a better way to do it, and she is a seasoned pro and well respected in the area, so I'm very anxious to hear on supervision.
40 plus years in the education system, and I think the majority of that was at Pierce College.
Oh yes.
And she's led that little community college up on the hill to a nationally recognized one, as we mentioned, top 3 in the nation.
Yep.
And just how much work they're doing up there, this big college now in our community in Puyallup and Sumner.
So we'll kind of take a look at that education piece. We may have someone coming in to also talk about, early childhood education has become so relevant and important here with funding into some locations in Sumner, and we'll have a facility in Puyallup out at Farm 12 as well. Sort of that, birth to 5 is such a key age, and it's really nice that people are, the government is recognizing that we need to fund these areas, and how can we put kids in the right environment to start them off from birth, just recognizing what type of brain development is happening at that age. So we got to get a little glimpse of that last year, so we'll hear a little bit more about that important phase of education as well. So that's kind of our education day. And then in June, this is going to be another fun day. So it's going to be our, public service, government day, retail day. And so we will start
at Bill Korum's Puyallup Nissan.
Yes.
With me and us, and we get to see the automotive industry, which has a big impact on the economic.
A huge impact in this area.
So we'll take you around, show everything from parts to service to sales, of course, just everything that goes on in the automotive world. And then we get to have lunch up there in our conference room, and I'm sure we'll have good lunch we'll provide that day.
That actually might be the Chick-fil-A day.
Chick-fil-A day, that would be a good day.
We could see Mike Lehman again. And then we're going to have our chief of police, our fire chief come in as well. It's so nice. That's kind of the added benefit of this class for me at the time I took it last year, being newer to the community, and to have kind of just some key leaders that you get to meet. So
even military?
Yeah, and then military too. Yeah, so that was again just another wonderful aspect of this Leadership Institute. So that'll be a great day as well. And then we'll have our graduation probably a week or two following. Last year we were fortunate enough to actually do some golfing at Linden Golf Club. Some of us golfed, and then had we'll have a keynote speaker at the end to just do our commencement services with us, send us off on our way. But I just can't say enough about what this class did for me personally with my leadership, and really having to analyze that times are changing, and ruling by empirical leadership or dictatorship, which isn't what I did before, but that doesn't work. Really being a humble and servant leader is definitely something I walked away with really trying to embrace. So that was a great exercise for me to go through.
Yeah, and mostly, just what works in leadership is what we learn. They take studies from this book, and Kent goes over that, and what's worked over time, and we kind of, get to meet all the community leaders throughout the community, from government to business to military to everything, and then we wrap it up all last week, and we get to have a keynote speaker to kind of send us off on our way, and it's almost amazing that there's a class like this provided, which only takes 6 Fridays out of a whole year, so you have plenty of Fridays, but 6 Fridays, that you'd think you'd have to go up to Seattle or somewhere special to take a class like this right here in our backyard, in our community, with our community leaders helping out along the way. And it's not much of an investment for an employer to send someone through, or if you want to send yourself through, so it's definitely worth it. And that's why I'm sitting here today.
Yeah, and we're about half full for enrollment right now, and so really, if you were thinking about it, and what a greater gift could you give someone, a nice Christmas bonus to send one of your employees to this leadership. It's a gift that will last forever. I'm looking at this, and I would be remiss not to mention, there's so many timely topics that get interwoven in here, and so just understanding how generations are communicating with one another is also kind of an important facet. And when we're at the South Hill Mall, we'll have the benefit of Deanna Largent, the owner of Aveda, who is actually working with her daughter and her granddaughter. So you've got 3 generations all in one facility, and how they communicate and how they work together, and some of the lessons they'll impart on us is kind of an added bonus too that I'll mention. Nuts and bolts, $900 for tuition. Tuition. For tuition. And again, that's going to include your breakfast, your lunches for all those days, the tour bus, and just a wealth of knowledge that'll stay with you for a lifetime.
And the connections you make.
And the connections are, again, priceless. So if anything else you can think to add that we might not have covered?
No, I think we covered, unless there's someone that wants to add a question, but no, just overall, it's a great service that the Chamber provides, and just it's an overall great experience.
Yeah.
Memorable.
So thank you so much for tuning in today. Please feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. And I certainly hope you consider registering this year. We would love to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
It's good.
It's maybe that first.